This video is going to be working on solving systems of equations by substitution, and maybe the latter ones will be by graphing. So I think this one goes along with 4-1.7. The last one I did, I think I said was 0.7. It was 0.6. Anyway, they're all going together about now. Okay, but the problems are still different, and we still need to know how to solve by substitution. When I look at these two equations, do I see one of the equations that's in y equals or x equals form? Yes, I do. Here it is in y equals form. So I'm going to take this and put it in for y. So I'm going to rewrite this bottom equation. I have x plus, instead of y, I'm going to put in there 4x plus 3, and it equals 83. Well, now what do you do? Well, here's my equal sign right here. Put together these two x's. You get 5x plus 3, and that equals 83. Now I subtract 3 from each side. I get 5x equals 80. I'm going to divide by 5. X equals, let's say, 16. X is 16. Now, normally I choose this one right up here. I'm just going to show you that I can choose the bottom one. Say I did x plus y equals 83. Well, I can take x is 16. So I can put it in there for x, and I get 16 plus y equals 83. Subtract 16 from each side. Y equals, what is it? 7 and a 1. And that is 67. I can also get my answer if I chose the second answer. If I chose the first one, which is what I normally do, 4x plus 3, you'd have y equals 4 times x is 16 plus 3. Well, let's see. 4 times 16 is 64 plus 3. So you get the same answer no matter which equation you choose, so it doesn't matter. Next one. Here are the equations. Are one of the equations written in x equals or y equals form? Yes, I have x equals right here. I'm going to put this in here for x. I get 3y minus 11. And then I have minus y equals negative 7. These right here, 3y minus 1y is 2y minus 11. That equals negative 7. Add 11 to each side. I get 2y equals, what is that? That's 4. Divide by 2. Y equals 2. So I have y to be 2. Choose one of the two equations. I have x equals 3y minus 11. We found y to be 2, so I'm going to substitute it and put it in here. So I have x equals 3 times 2 minus 11. X equals 6 minus 11, where x equals negative 5. So my solution is negative 5, 2. Number 3. I have one of my equations is in y equals. Circle what y equals. Let's substitute it in here for y. We have 2x minus 4 times y. Y is negative 4x minus 10 equals 4. Okay, so now what do we do from here? Well, I bring the 2x down, and I do the distributive property right here. I have negative 4 times negative 4x, which is positive 16x. Negative 4 times negative 10, which is positive 40. And that equals 4. Now, here's my equations. I put these two together, and I get 18x plus 40 equals 4. Subtract 40 from each side. 18x equals negative 36. Divide by 18. X equals negative 2. Found x. Now I need to find y. Choose one of the two equations. Again, I use the one that's already in y equals or x equals. Okay, it says that x is negative 2, so I'm going to put this in here, right there. I have y equals negative 4 times x. X is negative 2 minus 10. Y equals 8 minus 10. Y equals negative 2. Next problem. There's the next one. Are one of the two equations written in x equals or y equals? Yes, I have x equals right here. I'm going to substitute it in here for x. I have 3 times x minus 4y equals 2. You may want to do it this way and then go in and fill in y. Oops, I don't want to, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to write it in blue though. Y plus 2. Hey, does anybody know why 6 ran away from 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm just boring myself here. All right, 3 times y, 3y. 3 times 2 plus 6 minus 4y equals 2. Put together the y's. 3y minus 4y is negative 1y plus 6 equals 2. Subtract 6 from each side. I'm going to write it over here. Negative 1y equals negative 4. My y cannot be negative though, so I need to divide by negative 1. Y is 4. Okay, so I go up here. Y is 4. I come over here and I've got x equals y plus 2. X is 4. No, I'm sorry, that's not x, that's y. Y is 4. Whew. There we go. X equals y is 4 plus 2. X equals 6. And there's my solution. Next one. Oh, it's all stretched out. Now this one we can solve by substitution or we can solve by graphing. Well, let's do the first one just by substitution. See, now in this case, none of them are written in y equals or x equals form. So I'm going to take, let's see here, I'm going to take negative 6x plus y equals 7. Let's solve for y right here. I'm going to add 6x to each side. I get y equals 6x plus 7. Okay, so now I have my y equals form. Let's use this equation right here. It says y equals. So I'm going to take what y equals. So now I've rewritten that top one. Forget about that. I'm going to put this in here for y. So I have, let's see, I have negative x minus 4 times y. Y is 6x plus 7, and then write the rest of the equation, equals negative 3. Well, negative x, multiply these for the distributive property, negative 24x minus 28 equals negative 3. Combine like terms, put these together. Well, I think I'm going to have to go over here now. I've got negative 25x minus 28 equals negative 3. Add 28 to each side. Negative 25x equals 25. Divide by negative 25. X equals negative 1. So I have x equaling negative 1. Now I need to find my y. Well, let me erase this. Well, let's use this equation right here. And I'm going to have y equals 6x plus 7. Y equals 6 times x. We found x to be negative 1. Plus 7. Y equals negative 6 plus 7. Y equals 1. So my solution is negative 1, 1. Now, I said that you could do this a couple ways. You could do this by graphing or substitution. See, let me erase all this stuff. And if you missed all that, you can always rewind the video and see how I did the substitution. Okay. Now, first off, if I wanted to solve them by graphing, I'd have to solve them for y first. So I did the first one, which means I go up to 7 and put a dot. My slope is 6 over 1. It means to go up 6 and to the right 1. Well, if I go up 6 and to the right 1, that kind of messes me up. I'm up above the line. So let's go down 6 and to the left 1. Down 6 and to the left 1. And then I can draw my line. Now the second one, right here, let's solve for y. So let's add x to each side. I get negative 4y equals x minus 3. I divide by negative 4 by everything. So my equation becomes y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3/4. Ooh, that's a pretty nasty one. Well, if I go in my calculator, let's see if I can pull that up real quick. Oh, let's see, I need... There we go. It's kind of difficult to start at 3/4 at 0.75 and go down 1 and over 4. But what we could do is go in our calculator, put in here negative 1/4 x plus 3/4, and press second graph and find some ordered pairs. Oh, let's go back up here to the beginning. This is one of the reasons why substitution might be nicer. Oh, look, I can start here. I've got negative 1, 1. Well, good deal, because that's what we found our solution to be. So our solution is still going to cross there. The slope is negative 1/4. Tells me to go down 1 and to the right 4. Down 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can go up 1 and to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can draw my line to connect the dots. My solution is where the two lines intersect, which is right here, which is what we found by substitution at negative 1, 1. So again, you can do it either way, but sometimes substitution's friendlier than trying to solve for y and graph it. Here's the next one. All right, we need to solve by substitution. That's all really I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this graph. Oh, I guess I can't right there because let's see if I can make it bigger and get rid of that graph kind of on my screen. Okay. Well, maybe not. All right. Solve one of these for y and get it in y equals form. Let's do the bottom one. Why did I choose the bottom one? Just it was the closest one here. No big reason. So I subtract 4x from each side. I get 2y equals negative 10 minus 4x. Divide by 2. I get y equals negative 5 minus 2x. All right, so now I've changed this one. I have the other equation is 6x plus 6y equals negative 18. Okay, so I'm going to take what y equals, and I'm going to substitute it in here for y. So I have 6x plus 6 times y equals negative 18. Well, y, we just found y to be negative 5 minus 2x. Now, let's go and try and find x. I have 6x. Do the distributive property. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12x equals negative 18. Combine like terms. It's negative 6x minus 30 equals negative 18. I'm going to add 30 to each side. I'm going to have to write it over here, running out of space. Negative 6x equals, these cancel, equals 12. Divide by negative 6. X equals negative 2. X is negative 2. Now I need to find y. Well, you can do this a couple different ways. Let's go ahead and use this one up here. It says 6 times x. 6 times, what did we find x to be? negative 2 plus 6y equals negative 18. Well, that right there is negative 12 plus 6y equals negative 18. All right, let me erase all this to give me some room here. There we go. Okay. Let me rewrite negative 12 plus 6y equals negative 10. I'm going to add 12 to each side. I get 6y equals 2. Divide by 6. Y equals, if you reduce that, it's 1/3, and that's okay. And there is my solution.